And what years did you serve?
I was in the Marine Corps from 65 to 69.
65, 69. Were you drafted or were you enlisted?
4 years. No, I volunteered.
Why did you volunteer?
Well, I'd been drafted anyway, but I wanted to go in the Marine Corps and I wanted to get a certain job.
Certain job?
Yeah.
Why did you pick the Marine Corps?
I had a brother that was in. A bunch of us went in at that time. It wasn't just, well, we didn't go in together. We just all went in the Marine Corps. And plus, it's the best service. You know what? We'll always have that fight.
Why is it the best?
I believe they're more dedicated. I'm not saying more dedicated. They're I don't have a word for that. They are dedicated. You work. You don't. Well, you have good times. I can't say that. But I was gonna. This is some of the areas. This is the town right around our base.
What would you say were like the conditions in Vietnam at the time?
For the military?
Yeah.
I was an air wing, which means we took care of things like that. Crashes, any fire. Revetments. We had every plane was in a different room. Medevacs. Things like that. And there's a lot of camaraderie. This is us. We're on 24, off 24. We had we partied too.
So like, what do you guys do in your free time, like, besides partying?
Not much. But we had an EN club and we go to it.
What was the most difficult thing about being in the Marine Corps?
Boot camp.
Boot camp? How was that like?
It was like hell.
Like, what do you guys have to do?
Whatever they said. But you do that all the way through. No, it was just hard. It was work.
Like, anything in specifically, like the most difficult thing out of everything?
Well, they take your pride, break you down, then they build you back up. They take everything you knew, take it away, and then they teach you the Marine Corps way. Everything you thought you knew.
Were there any life-threatening situations that you were involved in?
Oh, yeah. Well, this girl right here, she was from SC. I just have it's the one about the young girl from SC.
This one?
Well, that's one of them. There should be. I guess that. Well, like I say, I'm on a bluff up here with the M79 grenade launcher. In case they had trouble in there, I was supposed to just start throwing grenades in. But that's just so funny. She walked by and said, "You halt right there." I've got it. I pointed at her. She goes, "Hey, GI, where are you from?" I go, "Burbank, California." She goes, "Oh, I've been there." I go, You gotta be kidding me. What do you mean you've been there? I graduated from SC Medical School.
Oh. So you've grown up in Burbank all your life.
Yeah. And she went back to her village. This is this town of Chulai.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd go out and sweep this whole. This is probably about a mile of people, Marines. And you'd sweep the whole area, looking for Vietcong, rockets, mortars. You go right through their village. I mean, that's part of it. Whenever you go to a crash, that's part of it. There's a bunch of crashes in here. It's a very intense job.
When you guys were like sweeping the villages, what were like the people's reaction to you guys?
Very little, because usually they'd hit at night and then they'd be gone in the morning. And we went through in the morning.
So there's like no village people there, or like?
Oh yeah, they're there, but
they just didn't.
Viet Cong aren't there.
Oh.
Always is there. And when you have to be in a fire truck and you dress like that. That's good. When you stay out 4 hours on the runway from midnight to 4 in the morning. And that's when they used to like to hit it.
How was life on the base? Like, were you able to keep in touch with your family?
Yeah. Well, no phones.
No phone.
Mail.
Mail. How often did you?
When you live in that. Well, we did, but we're lucky.
Was this like luxury compared to other soldiers?
Yes.
How so?
Well, they didn't have a place like that.
What did this have that other soldiers didn't?
Well, this was air wing.
Air wing.
The infantry was sleeping on the ground, and they'd move them like wherever they need them, constantly. They didn't have a rack like me. But that's a palace compared to what some of those guys have.
How about you guys have like fancy, like good, like beds? Good beds. How about food? Was it?
Yeah, we had pretty good
food. Did you solely stay in one place in Vietnam, or were you?
Yeah, well, see, even though, like I say, that's getting off my fire truck. Even though well, for an example, that's a tower. And I had 6. I was in charge of 6 of them, with an M60 machine gun between each one of them. So just because you were a fireman in the Marine Corps doesn't mean you have luxury. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There we are going. The 6-pipe broke down. We're going out to these towers.
Did you receive any special like awards?
Just a letter of commendation.
Oh, what is the letter of commendation?
They just write. They wrote up our unit for fighting fires. Like, no, not. We had 14 airplanes go up in one night. Yeah, there's my accommodations right there.
When you got back into the United States in 1969?
69.
How was life back in the U.S.? Was it difficult to adjust?
certain people.
Well, how?
Well, you get spit on up in San Francisco. And then luckily, they had a lot of MPs and stuff there because there would have been some deaths maybe up there.
Well,
That was during, the era. Oh, no, you wouldn't.
no.
They, the hippies and them,
Oh.
drugs. This is what I say. Just because we did this type of work, on base, you still had to go out here and sweep. That's like an infantry person. What we did, crash crew, was we took care of things like that.
Oh. Could you describe like your everyday routine? Like from morning until night.
Well, in the morning you'd get up and you'd go to this place. That in there is all the fire trucks. Every work morning, that's where you go. We leave the whole crew, and we'd stay there 24 hours. You go out on the runway 4 hours. You work on the trucks. You do all that. It was constant. You're busy. Like here, we're setting up that. To carry an AMSL unit, which is a firefighting deal. This is the crash crew area where I'd go to work. That's my office at the time. And that's what you do. And then when you get off, do anything you want. Sometimes you had to do this when you're off. Sweeping and going through the villages and
What after the war? What did you go on to do?
I tried to become a fireman, but that didn't work. There's many reasons because they were going minorities. They didn't have enough minorities and stuff. So I went to work for Disney.
And what did you do at Disney?
I started out in labor. I worked there 34 years. And I ended up the senior estimator for Disneyland, Disney World, Japan, all the parks. Well, 34 years is a long time.
Yeah, it's a very long time. Did you continue your friendships with the guys in your unit until now? You still
I've only seen two of them.
Why haven't you kept?
Well, because they're in Oklahoma, Ohio. Now I have one guy from Oklahoma married. Well, I was in Okinawa too. He married my girlfriend after I had left.
What did you do in Okinawa?
Fireman.
Fireman?
Crash crew.
Crash crew. How did your experience in the Marine Corps affect the rest of your life?
It made me strong. You can do anything you want to do if you use your head and do it.
Is there anything you want to add to this interview, but like that you feel that should be said about your experience in Vietnam to finish this interview?
Well, it's hard to you're picking up dead people. You know, it's kind of hard. And yeah, every one of those experiences is not very. I don't know, there's a picture here someplace. An F-4 Phantom landed on top of a Morris guy on the runway. You had to go pick his guts up. I mean, that's not. That's the biggest piece you can find in the guts.
Yeah. Oh, well, throughout your course in the Marine Corps, how many people do you think you had to pick up? Never.
Oh, I don't know. Just like it's hard to say at night when you're in one of those towers and you just start shooting because you have a guy on the ground and you have another guy that's out about a half mile and you hear something, then you wait. So you shoot. And you don't know if you killed anybody. But because they come and drag their bodies off, so you don't know what battalion's there. You don't know how many of them. So you can't say, well, I killed 100. It's impossible. But Americans probably pilots. Well, we went to one crash, C-130, went up and just fell back to the ground. We killed all 30 or 40 of them. So you don't, that's a tough question.
Do you have like a certain memory that you carry for the rest, you'll carry for the rest of your life? Just like
actually the guy that got squished, I was out drinking with him the night before. And we picked up his pictures of his kids and wife from his wallet. That's pretty sad.
Were you ever the one to tell their call their family?
No, I wouldn't do that. Somebody else's job. No, I just hope maybe you got a better vision.
Oh, absolutely.
Like I say, this is a lot of, village type. This is just partying type. These are serious. This is outside China. The bridge that was in there, was their bridge blown up? They used to blow it up every other week. We go put it back up. This is a picture. It's kind of a neat deal. We used to laugh about it. Like I said, here's a good picture too. It's Shell gas station. Out in nowhere. I don't know, this is just more of that same village right there. I don't know if you're here. Like I say, every 2 weeks we blow that bridge up.
Why would they blow that bridge up every 2 weeks?
Well, because they didn't want us crossing that river. They were on the other side. Like that's about, like I say, being a Dave out there, he was an infantryman. He has a lot different experience than I did, even though we did that once in a while. But my job was to take care of plane emergency. But you still all end up, in the Marines, you end up doing the same thing. No matter what one guy does, you do too.
Did you specifically choose to only work in did you specifically I want to be a
No, you have to take a test. It's like college entrance. You're qualified for this. You don't, otherwise you're an infantryman. So I went 4 years so I could get a position. I didn't want to be an infantryman. No.
Why?
very dangerous.
Would you do this again if you had a chance? Like,
If I was young.
well, I mean, like,
Do I want to do it again? I don't want another war, no.
No.
But I would do it again.
why would you want to do it again?
I feel proud as an American. Something my father did it, my two brothers, and myself. And my uncles, and every male in my family was in the service.
Oh.
So yeah, you can take pictures if you want.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay.